What's good, YouTube? It's Johnny Mons here. I'm here with your boy, my boy Griffy. You can check out his channel, Insane Joker 7. That doesn't have any Yu-Gi-Oh shit, unfortunately. None. But today, what deck are we deck profiling today?
Frog Monarch deck. John hates it because of Treeborn, but we're gonna do it anyway.
Well, fuck you.
So for all 4 of you listeners or watchers out there, be sure to tune in for the next video.
Woo! Alright, let's go.
Alright. Standard 3 Caiuses. Every Monarch deck runs this. Removes 1 card from the field when the tribute summoned. Easy. 3 Ryza. This is a very good card because it really takes the hand control from your opponent because it sends the 1 card, any card on the field, back to the top of the deck, so they don't get the draw next turn.
Dick.
For the last Monarch, Mobius, just for back row control. Can get rid of Mirror Forces, Magic Cylinders, and especially Solemn Warnings or Solemn Judgments, which are now apparently common. It's bullshit. It'll get rid of the back row so you can easily summon your Monarchs and get the Monarch hits off.
Going to Froggies.
Now we're going to the Frogs, John's favorite part. 3 Swap Frogs, very simple. You can discard 1 Aqua monster from your deck to the graveyard, Treeborn, and you can also sacrifice this card and it'll get you an extra normal summon in your turn as long as you sacrifice this card. So it can create a lot of extra tribute fodder, but mainly use it just to get Treeborn into the grave. The entire purpose of this deck, Treeborn Frog, getting him to the graveyard, he comes back as long as you control no spell or trap card. So every standby phase this card will come back, creating insane amounts of tribute fodder, and it also is a fantastic stall option. If you don't have your Monarchs right away, it'll keep coming back and blocking a couple of shots. 2 Reborn Tengus. This card is a great card because if you sacrifice it, you will automatically get another Reborn Tengu back after it's sacrificed or removed from the field. So its effect is whenever it's removed from the field, you're going to get another Reborn Tengu back, but it's only at 2, so you're only allowed to have 2 Reborn Tengus in your deck. Gen X Undyne is also another card that gets Treeborn into the grave, and it also allows you to add 1 little baby Gen X controller to your hand. This is the only vanilla card I run in the deck, and the only reason I run it is because it is a level 3 and there's also a tuner monster. So it's very easy to get into your hand, and you can easily go into your synchros with it. 1 Rodentoden. The reason I run this card is a backup if Treeborn gets removed or something. This card can special summon itself by removing 1 frog monster from your graveyard. So if once you get Swap into the grave, you can remove Swap Frog from the grave and have Rodentone on the field and Treeborn, and you'll have 2 tributes that turn, and you can use both of them to go into another Monarch or whatever the case may be. I have 2 Kaiser Gliders. This card is a fantastic card. What it does is, if it attacks something with the same attack, this card always wins. And its second effect is when it's removed from the field, you have to remove 1 monster back to the owner's hand. So when this card is destroyed, if your opponent has a monster on the field, you can send your opponent's monster back to the hand when it's destroyed. So it takes somebody down with him.
Fucking dick.
Blackluster Soldier, enough said.
Oh my god. Okay.
For the hand traps, we have 3 Battle Faders.
3 fucking Faders.
Comes in very handy, especially when you have no tributes in your hand and you're stuck with, 3 Swap Frogs or Rodent Totems. You got no high sacrifices in your hand, and your opponent's barreling through your monsters is a fantastic card to stall and being able to save your life points. 2 Effect Veilers, fantastic card, can really ruin your opponent, especially if you use it when they're using effects to special summon monsters. But I also use it as a level 1 tuner with Treeborn Frog, and it can get out Formula Synchron, which has now been limited, which really hit the deck, is whenever it's Synchro Summon, you get to draw 1 card. You're only allowed 1, but if you can get a Formula Synchron out with a Stardust Dragon, you get Shooting Stardust Dragon, so that's also second option for this card. Gen X Ally Birdman, it's a level 3 tuner, so it can help you go into the synchros, and basically it can help you reuse your Monarchs or recycle your Monarchs, because its effect is you can special summon this card by returning 1 monster you control back to the hand. So you'll special summon Gen X Ally Birdman by returning a Ryza or a Caius, then you would sacrifice Gen X Ally Birdman and you'd be able to reuse Ryza's or Caius' effect. For stall options, we have Spirit Reaper. Basically, that's the only reason I have this in deck. Can't be destroyed by battle. In case you're in a tight spot, it can stall you for a few turns. Plus, it's a dark, so with the dark and the light to get BOS out on the field. Vanity's Ruler is an amazing card no matter what deck you're versing. When he is tribute summoned for 2, your opponent cannot special summon monsters. That means you can special summon and your opponent can. Fantastic card, can really change the game. Next hand trap, Gores. Simple, you can get out a token plus a level 2700 beater on the field. That's in a hand trap, enough said. And I run 1 Obelisk of Tormentor. Now many people may say, well,
Kaiba right here.
Kaiba, exactly, old school, season 1. But the reason I run this is because there are some times where you can have, you'll have no Monarchs in your hand, but you'll have mad amounts of tribute fodder, as what this deck is based around. Rodent, Toad, Treeborn Frog. So you can easily get out 3 tributes, and this card's summon cannot be negated, can't be targeted by spells, traps, or effects. So it's an amazing card, especially if you get them out early on in the game and you start taking out your opponent's spells and traps, because this card can still be affected by dark holes or mirror forces, but you want to get him out early on the field. He's a 4,000 beater, plus he has an amazing effect where you can tribute 2 monsters on your side of the field to destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Now, you almost always have a Treeborn, plus all the special summons that you get for the Frog engine, so it's a great card. Next hand trap, Tragodia, the standard card. Can easily get into your synchros, plus you can, the second effect, by discarding the same level card in your hand to get control of your opponent's monster on the field. You can use it to attack or to synchro with, or whatever the case may be. I run 1 Plague Spreader Zombie. The only reason I run this card is because he is a tuner, and I use him for many of the synchros that I have, and plus you can easily get him back as, again, another special summon, creating an insane amount of tribute fodder, getting out Obelisk or one of your Monarchs. Light and Darkest Dragon, I only run 1. I used to run 2, but I took it out for a Kaiser Glider. This card is really great if you're in a tight spot, because your opponent has to activate a lot of stuff just to get over it. Obviously, its effect is it negates any spell, trap, or effect that activates both you and your opponent. So your opponent has to activate a lot of stuff to get over it. But if any effect, magic, trap, or monster effect is activated, this card loses 500 attack points, which is the downside. But as I said, your opponent has to activate a lot of cards just to get over this Light and Darkness, just to destroy it. 1 Dark Dust Spirit, fantastic game changer, especially if you're versing monsters and decks that have a lot of special summons. When this card is tribute summoned or normal summoned, it's destroy all other face-up monsters on the field except this card. So you can easily inflict 2,200 damage while destroying all your opponent's face-up monsters. And at the end of the card, at this turn is normal summoned, it returns to the hand, so you can reuse the effect. That's all for the magics.
Spells, baby.
Spells. 1 Foolish Burial, Treeborn Frog. 2 Mystical Space Typhoons, back row control. 2 enemy controllers, the best magic card, I believe, in this deck, because you can use it with Treeborn Frog. The effect, Treeborn Frog's effect is obviously comes back during the standby phase. You activate this card during the standby phase to take control with Treeborn. So Treeborn gets sacrificed. You get your opponent's monster, and since it's a quick play, that means it's still the standby phase, and you get Treeborn back. So you get one of your opponent's monsters for free whenever you activate it. So it's very good. You can use that card to synchro, attack, or whatever the case may be, and you get it for free anyway. So you can do whatever you need with it. 2 soul exchanges to get into your opponent's monsters for free, especially with the Monarchs. You can get the attacks off, but the problem with this card is you do not get to use your battle phase when you activate it, which I forget every single time I activate it. I always activate soul exchange, and I wind up saying, okay, I'm going to attack with 24, which is all the Monarchs attack. But that's the only bad thing about it. But you get to take one of your opponent's monsters and still get the Monarch effect off, and hopefully attack next turn. Monster Reborn, simple, special summon, Dark Hole, and I run 1 Nobleman of Extermination, which I'm thinking about putting 2 in. This is a fantastic card. What it does is you can destroy 1 spell or trap that's face down on the field, and if it was a trap card, neither you or your opponent cannot use that trap card for the rest of the game. You have to send it. You have to send it from your deck to the graveyard. Now, I run no trap, so if I pick a Solemn Warning, or if I pick a Mirror Force, then that means my opponent cannot use those 2 trap cards for the rest of the game. So it's it's a backup to Mystical Space Typhoon. It's a great card. And then, of course, Heavy Storm for spell and trap control.
And no traps, huh?
No traps.
Not even a fucking judgment?
Not 1 trap.
Oh my god.
I don't need it. It's my Monarchs are for.
All right, that's true.
Onto the extra deck.
Let's do this.
Locomotion Argenics, fantastic card. When he is synchro summoned, you get to take control of your opponent's highest level monster on the field, and if it's a tie, you get to choose. But the only way to get him out is with you have to have one Gen X tuner and one or more non-tuner dark monsters. So basically a Caius and a Gen X controller. But since you get Gen X controller through Gen X Udine, it's not that hard to get out. But when you do get him out, it could be devastating because you get the highest level on your opponent's side of the field for good. Plus he's level 2500. One Formula Synchron. As I said, you can get him with Effect Pharaoh and Treeborn Frog. You're only allowed one, but when he's successfully synchro summoned, you can get to draw one card. And then another reason for Formula Synchron is for him. He is very hard to get out, but if you have a Stardust on the field with Formula Synchron, you can get him out, which actually isn't that hard, seeing as how Treeborn does come back each standby phase. But this is a fantastic card. It can attack more than one times and does all the same effects as Stardust. Armory Arm, another game-changing card, because basically what it does, if your opponent's monsters are in attack, you basically attack directly. What it does is when it attaches to a monster, that monster gains 1,000 attack, plus after you attack, it does obviously the difference from your attacking monster and your opponent's attacking monster, and you have to subtract the attack of your opponent's monster from the life points as well. So if you have 3,000 attack and you're attacking a 2,000, that means they're going to lose the 1,000 of the difference, plus they're going to lose the 2,000 because that's what their attack was. So it's like attacking directly. And if you get the Armory Arm and BLS combo, that's pretty much it, because that's 4,000 to 4,000 right there. So another fantastic card. Iron 1G, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. He's another fantastic synchro. Although you need water, you need one tuner and then one or more non-tuner water monsters. But his effect is very good. You can discard up to 2 cards from your hand and destroy that many cards on the field. So when he gets out, he's got 2,500. Plus you can get over a lot of cards that your opponent has on the field just by it does limit your hand control, but you're supposed to use it in tight spots, not all the time. And then of course, Stardust Dragon. And for the overlays, I only have one. I'm looking to put in more, but this Gotchi is just for a stall option. And I'm looking to put in Photon Bouncer. He is 2 level 6. He's 2 level 6s, but he's a $50 card, so we're not going to go there right now.
I don't blame you.
And
so what do you like about the deck, and what don't you like about the deck?
What I like about the deck is it can create, when it works, it can create a mad amounts of tribute fodder, and you can get your Monarchs off like that each turn. So removing mad amounts of cards from this field, especially with Obelisk the Tormentor in your deck, and then you have Kaiser Glider, and BLS is very easy to get into the onto the field because you're sacrificing those monsters into the graveyard. And then, like I said, Vanity's Ruler, it can stop special summons, but the whole point of the deck is to get the Monarchs out. Now the bad part of it is it can leave you empty-handed a lot, because you can be stuck with 2 swaps, or you can be stuck with the Treeborns and the Rodent Totems. Now you have all these low-level tribute fodders, but you have nothing to tribute for. So therefore, your opponent can get over your monsters really quickly. So you have to make sure that you get those Monarchs in as much as possible, so that way you can start removing monsters. But that's the only downside of the deck, is when you run into a lot of the tribute fodder, as in, like I said, Swap Frog or Rodent Totem, and you don't have any Monarchs or anything to tribute for them in your hand. That can really slow the deck down, and it can really, your opponent can have a lot of time to do damage. But when you do get the Monarchs hits off, once you get them off cleanly, you can get a lot, almost very easy to get those 2,400 attacks in. But like I said, besides that, it creates a lot of amounts of tributes, and it's really easy to run. And it's rather cheap, as long as you don't buy the gold rare versions, which I did.
All right.
That's eBay for you.
And that's your Monarch deck. We like it. We'll duel it.
Subscribe! For the love of God, please. We need more subscribers.